You might be thinking to yourself right now, Wooderson, we don't need any more indie games on the eShop. The eShop is literally littered with indie games. Well, I got news for you, bucko. There are so many fantastic indie games that have not yet been highlighted on this little gorgeous handheld system. So while I have done series of videos about games worth buying on the eShop, here's a video about games worth putting on the eShop. So listen up, Reggie, because I got some games for you. Subscribe maybe, if this intro wasn't too weird for you, and let's get started. So the first indie game I would like to see while perusing my eShop is Spelunky. Have you heard of this one? Well, you're about to. Spelunky is one of those games you can easily pick up and play every night before bed. This award-winning roguelike platformer was developed by the indie studio Mossmouth. It initially launched way back on PC in 2008. I guess that's not too far way back. It's like a decade ago. Wow. I graduated high school that year. However, after being remade and catching critical acclaim in 2013, Spelunky has been loved by millions of gamers spanning across just about every platform, other than the Nintendo Switch. You see what I'm getting at? Explore, loot, and upgrade your hero as you trek across randomly generated environments. It's a gameplay loop that never seems to lose its fun factor. This charming yet extremely challenging roguelike would feel right at home on your Nintendo Switch. Plus, it's just another fantastic opportunity for this amazing game to reach a wider audience so more gamers can play it. And trust me, it's one that should be played. If you want to find out what the next great indie game on this list is going to be, then you better call 555 how much wood can a woodchuck chuck, because that is the only way I will let you know. It's Hotline Miami, I'll just tell you. Hotline Miami is a fast-paced and insanely brutal top-down shooter. It's set in the 80s and it is completely and utterly balls-to-the-wall fun. I have never died so many times in a game and been eager to try again. It is pure adrenaline from start to finish, and I cannot believe it hasn't hit Nintendo Switch yet. We already have so many fantastic games just like this on the Switch, selling really well. Hello, wake up sheeple. However, there is some good news. Devolver Digital went on record saying it would be releasing over a dozen games on the Switch before the end of 2019. Isn't it great how every developer seems to want to throw as many games as possible at the Switch right now? It's almost like the Switch is doing really well. So I have so much hope that the publisher will announce Hotline Miami 1 and 2 for Nintendo Switch sometime in the near future, and if they don't, I will be upset. Next up, we have one of my favorites and a staple indie game that if you haven't played, you are missing out. Braid. I put this up there with Bastion, Limbo, and games of the like. It's a must-play. Created by Jonathan Blow, it's one of the first indie games on consoles to really make a splash. Not only is the story of Braid very unique and intriguing, but the gameplay is damn near perfect. You have the ability to manipulate time as you platform your way across levels. I remember when this game first came out and I used that mechanic, I was blown away by how trippy it was and how fun it was. And the game continues to just keep on throwing different gimmicks at you throughout your playthrough. However, it's the way they implemented these gimmicks that really makes Braid a unique platformer. The game forces you to be extremely specific with your abilities, which can lead to infuriating moments. But those moments lead to triumph and victory, assuming you don't suck at the game. It's still one of the most satisfying platformer puzzlers out there, and easily earned its spot on the list. When I wanted to make this list, that was the first game I knew was going to be on it. If I was to kill someone with this sword right now, I probably also have to kill The Witness. Hey, that's the next game. The Witness. The Witness began development not long after Braid. The same team that made that game started what would become an extremely long development process for this game. And the game finally launched in 2016, and oh boy, it was worth the wait. So many 10 out of 10 scores across the board. The Witness is a puzzler that keeps you thinking about it even when you're not playing it. Unlike Braid, it's a first-person puzzle adventure game that has you traversing an island exploring numerous structures and solving puzzles. And while simple in concept, the game offers some of the most engaging and satisfying puzzles to ever exist in a video game. And as someone that grew up on point and clicks, you better believe I'm not over exaggerating. And I know that my Nintendo Switch audience would totally eat this game up. That was very aggressive. Castle Crashers is a game that my friends couldn't shut up about in high school, but I never actually got to sample it with my own digits. So maybe a brand new Switch release would get me playing for the first time. So as I've been told, Castle Crashers is a 2D beat 'em up. That's why I haven't played it. It's a beat 'em up. Those suck. It was developed by the Behemoth. 10 whopping years after its initial launch, Castle Crashers looks just as charming and fun as it ever did before. I mean, even back then, the game managed to really stand out. It launched at the same time as such AAA titles as Halo 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4. And honestly, my friends talked about this game as much as those. Despite the odds being crazily stacked against them, Castle Crashers' zany art style, over-the-top action, and incredible pacing help it go down as one of the pioneer indie games and would change the indie space forever. So of course, it should come to Switch. Why not? I need to play it, obviously. It sounds great. Oh, speaking of good beat-em-ups, Gang Beasts is so much fun. This game is hilarious. It's currently available on PlayStation 4 and PC, so I say the time is now to put it on the best current gen system. That's right, the Xbox One. Get me those achievements. This is one of those beat-em-ups that will make you want to wring your friend's neck in the best possible way. You know, the good way you're choking your friend. This is largely due to the game intentionally having unresponsive controls and all over very wonky mechanics. I mean it, this is the worst controlling game I have ever played other than maybe Quap on PC. But just like that game, again, this is intentionally horrible and it's what makes it so stupidly fun and addictive. Seeing you and your friends just flop around the screen like dead fishes trying to push someone out of a ring, you can't beat that. And I gotta be honest, it's really not about being competitive at all. It's just about sitting down with some friends and laughing your butt off, which is a really nice change of pace. And hey, the Switch already has Human Full Flat, which is made by the same people and has the same mechanics. So what are you waiting for, guys? It's Gang Beast time. Something I would never ever do in my life is deep sea dive because I am deathly afraid of both the open ocean and sharks. But in the next game, you do exactly that and I love it. And that game is Abzu. Abzu is a gorgeous adventure game that released a few years ago on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. The developers that worked on this game previously worked on the critically acclaimed game Journey. That alone might have just sold this game to you because Journey is incredible, even including the same director and the same composer, and that is immediately apparent when booting up the game because it's a beautiful, eerie, and overall engrossing game just like Journey. And while this game looks so jaw-droppingly incredible on other systems, I don't think it'll have an issue running on Switch, so I mean, let's try it out. The next game is Geometry Wars, and I don't have a funny joke for this one, so let's just look at it. Geometry Wars originally began as a mini-game in Project Gotham Racing 2, but it would go on to become the most downloaded game on Xbox Live Arcade. Not only that, but it would also spawn 2 successful sequels and a spin-off. And all of that is due to the fact that it's some of the best twin stick mechanics out there. I mean it, this stylish series should not go unplayed by any gamer. Unfortunately, it's been quite a while since we have received a new game in the franchise. So I'm hoping maybe sooner or later we can see this game on Switch. Again, it's one of those games you could really easily sit on your Switch tablet up at night in your bed or wherever you play your handheld games and just waste away hours. It's very addictive. The next game on this list I had to YouTube tutorial how to pronounce, and that's Pyrrha. Yeah, I know, I'm that bad. Pyrrha features incredible tactical battles, a really great art style, and an emotionally gripping story. One thing I really love about this game is how you have to make gut-wrenching choices throughout it. The story is told in a similar vein as a Fire Emblem game, and you're introduced to memorable characters along the way. Also similar to Fire Emblem, the outcome of a match could decide the fate of a character you've grown used to. And along with all of that comes an engaging real-time battle system that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Unless you play your Switch in bed, in which case, I don't know, just kind of keeps you propped up against the pillows. I don't know what the expression for that is. You'll shuffle through different characters and utilize their special abilities throughout the 20-hour campaign. When you have a great game like this that reminds me so much of Fire Emblem, it seems a shame that it's not on Switch yet, so make it happen. If I don't get to play the next game again in general, I will hunt down the developer, the publisher, anyone I need to. I will look him in the eyes and I will say, you were a vegan, but now you will be gone. It's Scott Pilgrim. It's my favorite beat 'em up of all time. Speaking of beat 'em ups, it's seriously my favorite beat 'em up of all frigging time. And in a very sad, ironic twist of fate, I'm not even able to play it anymore. This is me, guys. Please, can we make this happen? My channel is called BeatEmUps, and I can't play my favorite beat 'em up. I'll play it on mobile if I have to, but let's talk about it possibly, maybe, probably not coming to Switch. After it being stripped away from digital stores due to licensing issues, we have yet to see a re-release of this absolutely stellar indie title on any platform. This beat 'em up borrowed so many elements from the best beat 'em up games of the past, threw it all into one game, expanded on all of those elements, and threw in its own awesome elements to make what I honestly believe to be the best beat 'em up ever lovingly crafted. And you throw in the fact that it looks absolutely beautiful, by far one of the best pixel-inspired games I have ever seen, and add in the fact that it's Scott Pilgrim, one of my favorite movies ever made, just a fantastic movie in general, but definitely a movie worth making a game about, and you have something that I consider to be seriously heartbreaking that gamers can't go out and experience anymore or play for the first time because it's just gone. Without buying an Xbox 360 with it pre-installed on it already, you just can't play this anymore. I mean, there's probably a way to play it on PC, but who likes playing PC games? So if any good comes out of this video, please just give us Scott Pilgrim again, and once you do, throw that bad boy on Switch, and trust me, I'll buy it. Which of these games, if any, would you most like to see come to your Nintendo Switch? Let's start voting down below, and feel free to throw your own into the hat. Maybe we can start a petition or something and actually make this happen. If you like this video or you learned a little something, make sure you hit flip all over that subscribe button because I'd really appreciate it. Click the tap on this video right here because it was probably better than this one, and it has actual Switch games you can buy now. Isn't that great?